on the bed. I hiked with a friend and didn't have to get home for dinner. I met some random guy for coffee. It was interesting. I found my coat where I left it, and I made a mess, and I knew it was my mess. And I had chocolate chips for dinner. So you contrast that with precisely 1 year ago last year. And 1 year ago last year, I was kind of in a sad, worried spot because my one and only daughter was in her last year of high school, and everything was a last. Her last first day of school, her last homecoming, her last UEA break, her last, test, her last meeting with the counselor, her last day of school with graduation. All of that time, 365 days was spent in anticipation of that dreaded day that she was going to drive off to college and leave me behind all by myself for the first time in my entire life. This is the first time that I've ever been by myself completely. So I worried and I stressed about it, and the dreaded day came, with God's speed, on October 16th of this year. We packed her car and we drove her down to the University of Utah, tears in my eyes, her glowing because she was getting away from home. So how did I make it through? It's a big change in your life to send your child off, because not only because you're letting them go, but because it signifies a different chapter in your life and a different stage and a different phase of life. And so it's tough, and the parents that have gone through it that I've talked to, they've had a tough time too. But we can all make it through it, and it can actually be a really fun and exciting time of life. And I'm going to tell you the ways that I made it through it, 3 of the tough ways. I realized that it was okay to be sad and to kind of reflect on the time period that I did have with her. And that while I was sad, I found that having a great network and support system of friends and neighbors and people to surround myself with really helped me to get through it. Even at the coffee shop, there's a lady behind the counter over at Starbucks that her daughter went off to college. She went a little bit further than my daughter, and she said that they call her the neighborhood dinner slut now because she's been going to dinner at so many different people's houses. But like me, she's a single mom, and all of a sudden you're by yourself. So to just find pride in what you've done as a parent and how you've raised your child, and just how what your child has been able to accomplish. And as I think about that one, I think about all those times that were so difficult that I see some of my friends still going through. 7th, 8th, and 9th grade were hell. And thought that I really wanted her to go off to college at some point and wish she would have. But then wondered, too, at the time period, if she was ever going to learn any of these life lessons that I was trying to beat into her. And, after she's been gone for the last 53 days, I realized she really did learn those lessons. So it's really fun and exciting and a moment to be cherished when they come back to you and they realize that they have learned the lessons that you so tried to teach them and thought that they might not be getting, but they get it by that time. And then the third thing is that I just really learned to embrace and enjoy my freedom for the first time ever. It's a different feeling. Basically, even if you are a single parent, or even if you're not, your kids are at home, you're always thinking about, what they're doing or when they're going to get home, and you have a curfew if they have a curfew, you're grounded if they're grounded, all of these different things. And all of a sudden when they go off to college, you're like, wow, I have a lot of freedom. I can do what I want. I can now come home at 1 o'clock in the morning and it doesn't matter. And I can eat what I want for dinner, and we don't have to fight over the clothes anymore because my daughter and I shared clothes a lot. So there are so many different freedoms and so many different new experiences and so many opportunities to really learn and grow and learn about yourself and finally be at a different place in your life and to have a different relationship with your child. And I realize that and recognize it, and I am just really happy that I survived high school. And the anticipation when I look at it was very intense, and I was really upset, and I dreaded it. But now I'm just excited for both of us to be able to go on and experience these new chapters in our life.